With that, we'll move into the agenda. Old business, members of council. Old business. We'll move into communications. Communications 7A, Business Administrator 2011, preliminary budget estimates for pensions. This item is just for informational purposes for members of council from the administration. 7B, City Controller, replacing Article 735, Emergency Alarm System.
Is a proposed ordinance to delete the existing Article 735, which is the emergency alarm system, in its entirety, and replace it with the new Article 735 as contained within the attachment to the memorandum.
Thank you. The chair will refer this to Mr. DiGiacinto's committee, Public Safety, for review. 7C, TIF proposal for Martin Tower.
A letter from Attorney John Lucius. This is written as he is the solicitor to the Lehigh County Industrial Development Authority, and it is pursuant to the Pennsylvania Tax Increment Financing Act. It is to finance a portion of the project through the establishment of a tax increment district created by the Board of Commissioners of Lehigh County, known as the City Central Tax Increment District. This TIF district comprises the 53-acre parcel known as the Martin Tower Complex, located at 1178th Avenue in the city, Lehigh County. The work on the TIF plan is complete. Copies are dated September 17th and have been distributed. The Lehigh County Industrial Development Authority requests that City Council refer the TIF plan to committee for review and consideration.
Thank you. City Council received information from the owners of Martin Towers. The clerk will be calling members of council to schedule a committee whole meeting. We will not conduct a committee the whole meeting prior to a city council meeting. That will be on a separate night, probably October or November, dealing with the TIF for Martin Towers. We'll move into reports. President of Council. Let me just say in response to the article in the Express Times dealing with the live feed. I did have the clerk do quite a bit of research. Information was provided to members of council, and the email was sent out as far as where we are today, as far as getting the live feed in City Council, and it's something that council may review during the budget hearings, because there is a financial cost on it, but members of the press and people on our email list should have received a copy of this today. Mr. Spadoni, I think you have an announcement.
For members of council, there was a communication with my office today in reference to the hearing for Officer John Nye scheduled for tomorrow at 6 p.m. And it is my understanding, and I think Mr. Spurk should state on the record, that we had a telephone communication at 10:07 with Mr. Waldron, and I understand that there is a joint application for a continuance by Mr. Spurk's office on behalf of the city and Mr. Waldron on behalf of Mr. Nye.
Yeah, that's correct, if I may, Mr. President.
Mr. Spurk, go right ahead.
Counsel for the officer called today and communicated with us. He indicated he needed some more time to prepare. Some documents were just recently obtained by both parties here, and we indicated to him we certainly would not object, and in the interest of fairness, we would join and make it a joint request for a postponement and a continuance of the hearing. And I confirm what Mr. Spadoni said about our discussions with Mr. Waldron at 10:07 tonight.
So the meeting for tomorrow will be canceled, and it will be rescheduled in the future. We'll notify officially the press tomorrow. We do have the Express here. We'll notify Mr. Coucil, and we'll try to reschedule that meeting. We have 3 dates that we're looking at. Okay, thank you. Mr. Mayor?
I have no reports, Mr. President.
Thank you. We'll move to item 9, ordinances for final passage, Bill 24, authorizing cooperative memorandum of agreement, Borough Kellertown, SR 0412, multi-jurisdictional signal.
And it is an ordinance of the Council of the City of Bethlehem to adopt and ratify an agreement for intergovernmental cooperation known as the State Route 412 Multi-Jurisdictional Signal System Agreement with Hellertown. Bill number 24 is sponsored by Gordon Maurer and David DiGiacinto.
Comments? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Belinsky.
Aye.
Mr. DiGiacinto.
Aye.
Ms. Dolan.
Aye.
Mr. Evans.
Aye.
Mr. Mauer,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Mr. Donches.
Aye.
7-0 passes.
Thank you. We'll move to item 10. Just for the record, Mrs. Walensky is in attendance. Make sure we have that in the minutes. Item 10, new ordinances, Bill 25, amending Article 1325, increasing the zoning board membership.
An ordinance of the City of Bethlehem, Counties of Lehigh, and Northampton, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, amending the zoning ordinance of the city, Article 1 through 25, titled Zoning Hearing Board, and Section 1 through 25.02, Membership, Terms of Office, and Compensation. The Council of the City of Bethlehem ordains that Section 1 through 25.02, which reads as follows, which is the membership, terms of office, and compensation, that reads that the zoning hearing board shall consist of 3 members and 2 alternates appointed by the mayor with the advice and consent of City Council for 3-year terms, shall be amended to read as follows. The zoning hearing board shall consist of 5 members appointed by the mayor with the advice and consent of City Council for 5-year terms. Section 2 is a repeal of Bill number 25, is sponsored by Eric Evans and J. William Reynolds.
Comments?
I'd like to make a comment.
Ms. Dolan?
I just want to say that I think even though we do have a clock here in Bethlehem, we really listen to the folks who come to talk to us during courtesy of the floor. And just a little history, not that long ago, the City Council decided informally to move forward with this very change, and something happened, just didn't get to the proper channels, and it didn't happen. And then when Al Bernitas got up and spoke during courtesy of the floor, it just put things into motion. I asked Cindy to write a memo, and here we are. So citizens can really help keep us moving along, remind us of things that we promised to do and we need to get done.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Walensky.
Aye.
Mr. DiGiacinto.
Aye.
Ms. Dolan.
Aye.
Mr. Evans.
Aye.
Mr. Mauer.
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds.
Aye.
Mr. Donches.
Aye.
7-0 passes.
Thank you. We'll move to resolutions. 11A, authorizing lease agreement, police substation 745 Linden Street.
Be it resolved by the Council of the City of Bethlehem that the mayor and controller are authorized to execute a lease agreement and related documents with Catherine Nelia for the first floor of 745 Linden Street for a police substation for 3 years. Resolution 11A is sponsored by Eric Evans and J. William Reynolds.
Comments? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Walensky.
Aye.
Mr. DiGiacinto.
Aye.
Ms. Dolan.
Aye.
Mr. Evans.
Aye.
Mr. Mauer.
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds.
Aye.
Mr. Donches.
Aye.
7-0 passes.
Chair will accept the motion from Mr. Evans, seconded by Mrs. Walensky, to consider resolutions 11B through 11F as a group. I ask the clerk to call a roll on the motion and to read the resolution, please.
Mrs. Walensky.
Aye.
Mr. DiGiacinto.
Aye.
Ms. Dolan.
Aye.
Mr. Evans.
Aye.
Mr. Mauer.
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds.
Aye.
Mr. Donches.
Aye.
All are certificates of appropriateness under the provisions of the Act of the Pennsylvania Legislature and Bethlehem Ordinance. 11B, a proposal to remove a fixed window and replace it with a sliding window at 77 West Broad Street, Unit 17C. 11C, to repair the slate roof and remove a non-functioning chimney at 131 East Wall Street. 11D, to install handrails at the front entry steps of 39 East Wall Street. 11E, to add dormers and a deck with stairs, and to replace the existing windows with new aluminum-clad wood windows at the garage located to the rear of 452 North New Street. 11F, to remove the existing awning and install a bracket-mounted projecting sign and 2 window signs at 460 Main Street. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Bethlehem that certificates of appropriateness are granted for the work. The resolutions are sponsored by Eric Evans and J. William Reynolds.
Comments? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Walensky.
Aye.
Mr. DiGiacinto.
Aye.
Ms. Dolan.
Aye.
Mr. Evans.
Aye.
Mr. Mauer.
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds.
Aye.
Mr. Donches.
Aye.
7-0 resolution.
11G, authorizing execution of TIF rebate agreement, Bethlehem Works.
Be it resolved by the Council of the City of Bethlehem that the mayor and the controller are authorized to execute a TIF rebate agreement and the related documents as deemed by the city solicitor to be necessary with Northampton County, Bethlehem Area School District, and the Bethlehem Redevelopment Authority for the purpose of rebating certain excess tip revenues from the Bethlehem Works tip to the three taxing bodies.